Good morning. My name is Michael R. Roser, and I am the founder and chief coaching facilitator for Strategic Life Coaching, LLC. I wanted to take a moment to just introduce myself and introduce my new company and my vision for people like myself who found themselves lost in their journey in this thing called life. 6 years ago, I was addicted to alcohol, weighed nearly 300 pounds, and was insatiably pursuing material wealth and all that comes with that. And it always left me wanting and always left me finding and feeling empty and again, pursuing something that just could never be achieved. There was always somebody else who had more wealth or more happiness than I did. As I went into treatment to solve the alcohol problem and doing a lot of self-reflection, decided that first of all, I could not change on my own. I needed to have the help of people, other people, very badly. So as part of that process, I began to look at my life and examine my life on what was useful and not useful, and began a process of outlining where I wanted to be and where I was presently, honestly, in reality. And so as my journey continued, I developed a transformation plan that has worked for me and worked very well. And I believe that there are 4 facets of an abundant life, and all of those facets have to be in balance in order to achieve abundance and serenity and happiness. The first for me was my physical state. Being nearly 300 pounds, eating very poorly, I found myself with dreadfully high cholesterol and high blood pressure. And my physician looked at me and said, Michael, if you continue on this path, you're going to be the richest guy in the cemetery. That is not something that appealed to me. And so with his help, I began to look at fixing myself and reinventing myself physically. I hired a personal trainer and a nutritionist. And both of those folks sat me down and assessed where I was at and where I wanted to go. And we began to work out. At the beginning, I couldn't do more than 2 or 3 push-ups. And this was very frustrating for me because I was a Hall of Fame basketball player. And I was always a good athlete. And I just couldn't believe that I had got myself so deconditioned. So we worked on a plan. It took 4 years. And I lost 85 pounds. I'm no longer on cholesterol medicine or high blood pressure medicine. And although I'm 57, going to be 58 here in a couple of months, I've never felt better physically. As part of that, I also had to change my choices that I was making every day with regard to food, what I was eating, and how much I was eating. My nutritionist, who is still part of my network today, helped me immensely in learning how to eat and learning how foods interact not only with medications that I need to take, which I'll talk about later, but also foods themselves. And again, losing 85 pounds, I feel and I am a completely different person. The next area that I had to look at was my emotional state, or lack thereof in my case. I was suffering from post-traumatic syndrome disorder from being sexually abused when I was a young child. This affected me more than I thought, and I also was diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety and depression. And for these, I actually did have to take some medication, and I still do, in order to maintain a proper emotional balance. But there was more to it than that. As I started to self-examine why I was drinking so much, these underlying problems were what I was masking. And years and layers of covering this up with alcohol I was never able to deal with them directly in a healthy fashion, and therefore they started to manifest themselves in other areas that I didn't want them to, such as my business relationships, my family relationships, and my friendships in general. Next, I spent 34 years as a chartered financial consultant and a chartered life underwriter, and the only part of my life that was really in pretty good shape was my finances. Unfortunately, the people around me and friends and so forth and clients that I had helped, that wasn't the case. And so for years, I helped people successfully navigate their way through finances and planning for large things that come up in one's life, like weddings, college expenses, retirement, and was able to help people set up a plan, contribute to it on a daily basis, and maintain it on a daily basis, and then review every 12 months to make sure that we were on track. And if we weren't on track, what did we need to do to make adjustments in order to get back on track? And lastly, for me, and probably most importantly, was my spirituality. And this is very different for me than religion. I had always considered myself to be a very religious person. 10 years ago, I became a spiritual director through the Archdiocese of Chicago, was very active in my church, and enjoyed it, sang in the choir and other things. Unfortunately for me, religion doesn't equal spirituality for me today, because religion was a theory and I understood it, but I didn't have any idea how to apply those great practices and those beliefs in my daily life. And so I began to walk a more spiritual path by connecting to a power that I call God, as I understand God, a power that is surrounding me on a daily basis. And because I was powerless over being 300 pounds, being addicted to alcohol, being irritable and discontented most every day in my life, I was powerless. I had to subscribe to a power greater than myself in order to help me and propel me to where I wanted to be. So as a result of this transformation plan and changing, I felt almost called to pass along what I had learned to other people who are still suffering. Last August in 2019, a lot of my old high school friends and buddies got together at a Cubs game in preparation for our 40th high school reunion. And to a person, they saw me and, Michael, what in the heck has happened to you? You used to be big, and you used to this and used to that, and you drank a lot, and so on and so forth. And wow, you look really good now. What are you doing? And as a result of that game and those conversations, I ended up training a lot of my friends. I felt so good about what I had done that I wanted to get actively involved in it. So I became a personal trainer in July of 2019, and I feel compelled to pass this along to everybody I meet. And walking out of my friends' homes after training them and seeing them lose weight and seeing them be interested in my transformation plan that I've put down and wrote is so self-satisfying to me, because I'm helping people. I'm helping people along the journey of life. And so over the next weeks, days, and years, I intend to give away a lot of these ideas that have helped me so immensely in my life. And if you're anything like I was, when somebody mentions that you're giving away something for free, the cynicism in me is paramount, or at least it used to be. I would have had two reactions to that. The first would have been, well, it's free, and that's precisely what it's worth. And secondly, I would have thought to myself, well, how in the world can somebody give something away for free? There's got to be a catch somewhere in there. And there isn't. I'm giving this away because what I found in my travels over the last 6 years of reinventing myself is it's one thing to be given the tools and be given what you need in order to change yourself and change your plan. It's a whole nother thing altogether to implement that plan into your daily lives, be accountable to that plan, and thusly achieving that plan. And it's made no better clear to me than setting up this company and now having to utilize technology which has passed me by. I understand I need to market. I understand I need to be online. I understand a lot of it. But when I was trying to develop this, I had to get help from a marketing specialist and other people in order to make this happen. So I encourage all of you to take those steps back, take an inventory of where you're actually at. And for me, I want to be the person that God sees me as I understand God. And each morning I get up and I try to connect to that power, a power that is so much greater than myself and has helped me so immensely. So good luck, and I look forward to meeting you as we trudge this road of happy destiny. And I actually looked up the word trudge, and it means to walk with purpose. And I hope all of you will begin to walk with purpose and enjoy an abundant life. Till next time, take care, and God bless you.